Hey guys, it's Vornskyr here, and today we're back in Elite Dangerous, and we're finally continuing on with the exploration pilgrimage. It's been a while since I've been able to do any of this for a variety of reasons. Some of them I've talked about before, some of them were basically problems that came into the game after Update 1.4, because what Frontier did, along with Update 1.4, was they also changed around the servers that they used for exploration, or for storing exploration data. And they had some problems, basically. And it was bad enough to the point where they actually put up a post on the forum saying don't do any exploring for a little bit until they fixed it. Which obviously they did fix because I am out exploring. But yeah, so that it all kind of added up to a fairly significantly long delay, which kind of sucked. Not really what I wanted. But anyway, so we're picking this one up and we're leaving, I believe it was the Eagle Nebula, and we're heading towards the Eagle Nebula. You'll probably see in a few shots later on that there's just this really weird kind of star cluster in the center of that nebula. I think what I was doing here was just I was bored while I was scooping, so I took a look at my ship. It's interesting as well. You can see the paint is actually starting to wear as well, which obviously is a thing in this game. The paint does degrade over time. The more time you spend at Supercruise, basically. I would imagine by the time I get back to civilized space, the paint job will be in pretty poor condition. So I guess it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that and see how it goes. But yeah, it is kind of fun playing around with the debug camera at times. It's pretty clunky to use, if I'm honest. It probably could be implemented a fair bit better, but it's nice being able to just check out things like this when you've got the time. And so this, I believe, is an Earth-like that I found once it finishes scanning. I guess I kind of spoiled the surprise there a little bit. But and what's really cool about this is that this is the first Earth-like I've found that hasn't been discovered by somebody else. This one is all for me, which is pretty cool. I think this is only the third one that I've found, if memory serves. So yeah, it's nice having one all for myself. I mean, of course, the thing is with the way exploration works in this, it could have already been discovered by somebody else, and they simply haven't sold the exploration data yet, because you don't get credited with discoveries or anything like that until you actually sell the data. So it's entirely possible that somebody has already found this and they're heading back to civilized space, and so I won't actually get the credit for it. Or, you know, somebody will actually find it after I did, but they'll get back to civilized space before I do. Or I'll die and lose everything. Let's not think about that last one. But anyway, so yeah, it's always cool finding the Earth-likes. They're one of the more rare things to discover, from what I've been able to tell so far. And of course, every time you find an Earth-like, you have to go into debug camera and take some screenshots and everything. And so that's what I did here. It's always nice, like I was saying a bit earlier, it's nice just having a look at the graphics and all that sometimes. It's pretty cool. I do like the Diamondback Explorer as well, actually. It's a pretty cool ship. I think it's one of those ships I think I'll keep. I mean, normally with ships in this game, especially as I've just been kind of progressing from the lowly beginner status up to, well, elite, I suppose. I've just been selling my ships, basically. There's some that I've kept for various... Well, actually, not really, there isn't. I've got my Type 9 docked back in space, but yeah, I haven't actually really kept any of the ships. I've just sold them and upgraded. I think I'll hold on to this Diamondback, though. It's going to have some sentimental value by the end of this. And so I'm not sure what I was doing here in this bit of video. I think I just got bored again. Sometimes I do that. I just play around in the galaxy map while I'm super cruising. And this is the star cluster I was talking about, though. You can see that. Oh, there we go. You can see this kind of clump of stars right in the center of the Eagle Nebula. So that's my destination there. I've got no idea what's going on with these stars or anything, but it seems like an interesting thing to go and check out. And you can see I'm just actually trying to plot a route over there because it was over 1,000 light years away. So hopefully, maybe one day in the future, that limit will be increased a bit. I mean, I think the problem is because of the way the routes are plotted, because it just plots every single possible course that you can take. And of course, the further you go, you got like an exponential increase going on, I think that's what it is. So, yeah, it just, you know, the further the distance is, the more possibilities there are for it to plot, and so it takes longer and longer. And that's why it takes so long to plot a route when you're in the core of the galaxy, because there's just so many stars within range. But anyway, so this was something interesting I found. This is a salvageable wreckage point, and this is something that must have been added in 1.4. I do remember hearing something about this. I'm not sure if they're supposed to spawn this far away from civilized space, or if it's some sort of bug. I've only seen 2 of them so far since I did about 3 hours of exploration, I think, since 1.4 has come out. And yeah, I've only seen 2 of these points, or 2 of these salvageable wreckages, so they're not that common. But yeah, it's definitely something I thought I'd check out, even though I don't have any cargo space on my ship, because, you know, when I spec'd this ship out, these didn't exist, basically. There was absolutely no point to have cargo space on an exploration ship, not really. So yeah, I won't be able to do anything about any of these, and so I'm not even going to bother dropping out of them in future. But it was interesting to check out what it was. And I believe this one was a canister of survey data. So I'm not really sure what you do with that canister. I don't know, because I obviously haven't been in civilized space, with the exception of checking out the beta in 1.4. I haven't actually been in civilized space to see any of this. So I don't know if this is something that you just get a mission for, or if you pick it up and it does something. I've got no idea at all. This is one of the reasons it'll be really nice to get back to space since update 1.4 has come out, to actually really get a good look at some of this new stuff. But whatever it is, it's pretty cool. So this is obviously one of those little surprises that they mentioned would be in the game for explorers post 1.4. But like I was saying, there was nothing I could do about it, so I just had to leave it, really. And over there, off in the distance, you can see the nebula that I'm heading towards getting larger. I always kind of like seeing it grow larger as you approach, especially when you look at it between jumps. Like, you know, you look at it now and then you look at it 5 jumps later, and it's a whole lot larger. It's pretty cool seeing that you're actually progressing to something, so it's always nice. It's nice seeing your progress kind of indicated, if that makes any sense. Speaking of which, you might have noticed, I'm not sure if I actually included any of the shots of it in this video, but there's been some additions to the stats panel for exploration and stuff. It now shows the total distance that you've travelled in light years and the total number of jumps that you've made, as well as the furthest that you've been from the starting system, which is pretty cool. It's I mean, they obviously, Frontier collects a lot more data than they show you in the stats page, so it's nice seeing some of that extra stuff. Just little bits and pieces. I mean, it's not really particularly important or anything like that. I think it's just one of those little things that's pretty cool to see, I guess. But I think that this is it now. I'm actually in the nebula in this system. This one was a particularly boring system. There was only 1 star. But you notice this, I saw one called 2 mass J blah 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 blah, a bunch of numbers and stuff. Now previously, systems starting with 2 mass have often had black holes in them, so I thought, you know, maybe there was a chance that one would have a black hole. As you can see, it doesn't, because you can see the star type in the top left. It's just an F-class star, I think, but anyway, I decided to go to that one just to see what it was. But yeah, the stars themselves, they just seem to be a big bunch of really bright, big white stars. I've got no idea what this sort of thing is. It's just a bunch of stars inside a nebula, I guess. But yeah, it was interesting. It's one of those things, I guess. It's for me, I think it's good to try and find different things to go to. Otherwise, you get bored really easily, just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So it's nice setting yourself little goals and different things to head towards, and that's what this nebula was for me. But yeah, as it turned out, not a whole lot there. I only went to a couple of different stars in the nebula, I think, but they weren't anything special. No neutron stars or black holes or anything like that, unfortunately. But you can't get all the interesting stuff all the time, I suppose. And we're now a fair bit closer than we were. I think I travelled about 1,500 light years to get to this nebula. I mean, it was probably slightly off track because it wasn't exactly where I wanted to be. You know, I had to detour a slight little bit away from Sagittarius A. Still heading in the same general direction, but you're not heading right towards it. So, you know, it's probably a little bit of time lost, but at the same time, I'm still heading towards the destination. But yeah, it's that's all the exploration that I've been able to do lately. Hopefully now that all these problems have been ironed out and everything since 1.4, I'll be able to get back into this and start doing it a bit faster. I really do kind of want to get this done now. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. I mean, I knew that it would take a while, but it's taken longer than I thought it would, that's for sure. And so I would really like to finish this and get back to space and actually, start doing the rest of the game again. So I'm not sure if I'll change the format or anything. What I'll probably start doing, I know I've talked about doing this before, but I think I'll start doing a lot more distance, but like in videos. So especially given that I'm kind of including less stuff now, because I found a few water worlds and gas giants, like with ammonia life and all that sort of stuff before, and that stuff it's getting common enough now that I'm not really featuring it in the videos. The problem is that means that there's kind of less interesting stuff to show, I suppose. So what I think I'll probably start doing is, instead of doing 1 to 2,000 light years per video, I'll probably start doing 3 to 4, maybe even more than that, depending on how it goes. But yeah, and hopefully that means I'll get this trip done a bit faster as well, with any luck. Because don't forget, I've got to come back 25,000 light years as well once I've gotten to my destination. So there's still a fair ways to go. But yeah, so I think I'll end this one here. So the exploration pilgrimage, it is continuing. We're not done with it. We're not finished or anything. It just, there was a bit of a bump in the road, I think. But anyway, we're back and working towards it now. So I guess we'll just have to keep on going and see how it goes. But yeah, so I think I'll end this one here. So until next time, I've been Vornskyr. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.